ATL, St. Louis, Alabama, Chicago, the Carolinas, DC, Bay Area, Miami, New York, Vegas, Texas. Y'all niggas can't fuck up my niggas home. 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 Motherfuck that nigga, motherfuck that bitch. 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 Y'all niggas more flexing that fun that.
Yeah, no, man. You already know exactly what time it is. We're back here to serve some more game on the ground for them hungry hounds who just got up the pound and are ready for the next rounds. With that being said, make sure y'all grab your snacks, y'all drinks, y'all weed, whatever the fuck the case may be. We're going to jump right into this shit, man. We're going to be finishing, or at least moving on with part 2 of what Candace Owens has to say about the whole Trump situation. We're not giving up on that video. We're going to continue to where we left off at last time, and we're going to listen to what she says and what she has to bring to the table about it. So with that being said, man, let me go ahead and get this shit pulled up real quick. Boom. And boom. All right, so I got my snack, got my dip, got my drink. We are good to go, man. So let's jump into this shit. In 3, 2, 1, let's get it.
This person, Jacqueline Marsaw, wrote, I don't condone violence, but please get you some shooting lessons so you don't miss next time. Oops, that wasn't me talking. Now, who is Jacqueline Marsaw? Jacqueline Marsaw is the staffer for Democrat Congressman Benny Thomas. So yes, this is a person that is getting paid with your tax dollars. This is your government, right? Full mask slip moment. Oops, I just wish that the person hadn't missed. Then we have Eric Swalwell, who is known for being nothing but particularly disgusting. All of these people are filth, just absolute filth. And he came in and just said, let's try to pretend that this guy is on the right, that he's a conservative. He wrote, I don't know why a Republican would try and kill his party's own nominee with an assault rifle, but it's wrong. Violence has never been the answer. Violence is not the answer. Violence will never be the answer. Forget the second part, because the first part is what he led with for a reason, because he's already trying to set the tone. This is Republican on Republican violence. And of course, no, it was not. This person was very clearly a leftist. It's very obvious to me that his parents are on the left. And what we are seeing here is them trying to pretend that they should have no accountability for one of their own, a person who donated, again, to Joe Biden on Inauguration Day via Act Blue, gave $15, and who has just tried to give the biggest plausible donation to Joe Biden that he could in the form of taking out his contender, Donald J. Trump. I mean, you can only imagine what Trump was going through last night. I really just think about that, what Trump must have been thinking last night, recognizing that all of the worst suspicions that people have been putting out there have been confirmed. And again, I want to shout out Alex Jones, who has been calling this out for a while. I want to shout out Vivek Ramaswamy, who has been calling this out for a while. Tucker Carlson, who has been calling this out for a while. And these individuals, by the way, myself included, who have had to take all of the figurative bullets from the mainstream media. An obsession with taking us out, making sure that our voices are being silenced, making sure that the audience won't listen to us anymore. What is the most egregious thing they can sell to you about Tucker Carlson? They are selling that to you. If you are watching the mainstream media, what is the most egregious things that you can believe about Candace Owens? They are selling you that if you are still a fool and watching the mainstream media. And I was wondering why, man. I have been in prayer going, I have never seen attacks against me. And I've had a long career, or was considered a long career in politics, and they have leveled up. They have leveled up in terms of trying to take clips out of context, make people believe that I'm an awful individual. And what is it that I am saying that has led to these attacks? They want people to turn away from me. Don't listen to Candace Owens. She's a conspiracy theorist. She's dumb. She believes in flat earth. They're calling me stupid all the time. She's a Holocaust denier. What is it that I'm actually doing? I'm reporting on real history outside of a textbook. I'm talking about 9/11 and telling you our government lied to us. People were informed of what was going to happen on that day. I am showing those old clips. People who were young like me in school and believing everything because we had no independent media. We believed everything that came through on those giant big screen TVs. We're all huddled up around them, believing that journalists had a commitment to tell us the truth, believing that they were in fact protectors of the people, when now we realize they are protectors of the state. Yeah, I'm speaking about real history, and I'm showing people the links. I'm going, you need to unlearn everything you have learned about JFK's assassination. You need to unlearn everything that you have learned about MLK's assassination. You need to unlearn everything that you were taught about 9/11, everything that you think you know about the Vietnam War, World War II. We're getting hit. We're getting hit. We know we are on borrowed time when you start digging in and showing people what they need to know. That is why they are after us, because we have the willingness to tell you all the truth. And the truth is that the government is evil, and that the government is worse than evil. I want to be clear. The government is satanic.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I want you to feel that, because I know that there are so many people who believe that they are atheists. There's no such thing as an atheist. You just are not aware of what it is that you are worshiping. Okay? An atheist is a person that is asleep and doesn't realize that they have replaced God in their lives with something else. And usually that something else is government. That these Satanists conspired to remove God out of your lives. You believe you're an atheist. This would have been unimaginable 50 years ago, right? Think about your grandparents. Everybody had faith, and then suddenly it changed. You know what, Chris? Can you pull that clip that I absolutely love of Tucker Carlson speaking to Joe Rogan, the one that I'm constantly running while we have people's attention, that I say is potentially the most significant clip, the most significant conversation, or I guess the most significant points that have been delivered from Tucker Carlson to Joe Rogan. Remember, the media had a mass freak out. The establishment had a mass freak out after this conversation, because he's inching ever closer to what the real issue is with the West, that we are fighting a spiritual battle. And most people are fighting this unarmed because they don't realize it's a spiritual battle, right? They're like, no, I don't believe in God. Well, do you believe in the devil? Are you looking around and realizing that actual people who worshiped Satan, as I showed in my NASA Origins episode, okay? Jack Parsons was an individual who believed in the devil, said he came up to him face to face. Okay, he was considered the Aleister Crowley. He was very close to Aleister Crowley. Okay, the religion was Thelema. They worshipped the devil. They believed that they were the beasts in Revelation, in the Bible, the whore of Babylon. They sought to establish that, to establish America as the whore of Babylon. What did they establish? They said NASA, the Apollo program. If this all sounds like new information to you, you need to go back on this channel.
And then, what does NASA mean? When you look it up in Hebrew, it means deceive or to deceive. It just always adds up more and more and more.
And watch all of these episodes that we have been releasing. The reason that we are just being assaulted every single day by the mainstream media is because we are going back and learning this stuff, and our jaws are on the floor. I'm learning with you guys. We couldn't believe it. I mean, we sat here in this control. We were going, this can't be real. What do you mean this is the origins of NASA? It's on Wikipedia, by the way. I'm not on some Reddit feed. They tell you on Wikipedia openly, these people worship Satan. So if you don't believe in God, let me tell you guys something. The people you're fighting sure do. They sure do. And they've picked their side. They are fully committed Satanists that we are fighting. This is not hyperbole. You just have to have the courage to look into real history. Do you have that clip? Yeah. Okay, you're working on it. Just signal to me whenever you have it. An important conversation is why you are seeing so many people, I believe, that are just kind of suddenly recognizing and maybe feeling as I was feeling at the middle of last year, where I something just came online, and that something must have been the Holy Spirit. And I just said, we got to get out there and we have to tell the truth, and we have to pray every day for our safety. So for those of you who have been worried, and those of you who watch this show every day, and you know that we've been inching closer, and you've been saying, Candace, I'm so worried for your safety. Well, if it's any consolation, just be clear that if they're going to kill me, there's nothing I can do about it. Okay. And I'm saying this half joking, but the reality is you just watched Donald J. Trump get shot at last night, and he is only alive because by the grace of God, people have been praying for him all around the country. He turned his head. That's the reality. Okay. The reality is they shot a president in broad daylight. The reality is it doesn't matter how much you beef up security. They have committed the murder, the assassination of figures that have grown too powerful and who were telling too much truth many times over in the past. This is the America that you live in. Okay. The reality is that the entire ecosystem of the mainstream media supports them and their lies. And they do this via mechanisms of psychology. That is what we have been covering on this new show, repeatedly. You must understand the origins and the history of psychology. It begins with Sigmund Freud. The reality is that Sigmund Freud created modern psychology as a means to convince people that what they had experienced wasn't so. He was protecting actual pedophiles, real pedophiles. That's the reality. That's the truth. I can point you to books. We do that on the show where you can learn this. You can learn that actually what happened was Sigmund Freud, okay? Sigmund Freud, the psychologist that you're learning about in school, which makes you go, why am I learning about this guy's a hero? Reality is that he began trying to delude a bunch of women who were coming in and saying that they were molested by their fathers when they were children. He tried to convince them that, no. Actually, you're sexually attracted to your father. And this information only came out because one of the people that was heading up his archives decided to learn German and to read Sigmund Freud's notes. And he realized, he said, whoa, and this was a Harvard grad, by the way, he realized Sigmund Freud was protecting pedophiles. And he thought when he exposed this information that the archive center was going to go, oh my gosh, now that we know this, we should tell the world. Instead, they colluded to kick him out. And so he wrote a book about it. Wrote a book about this. This is the father of modern psychology. And thereafter, his nephew, who you need to learn about, Edward Bernays, he became the father of propaganda in America, deluding Americans. He considered, I even made Americans eat breakfast. He did that. It wasn't a thing. People weren't eating eggs and bacon for breakfast. He did that. And they were constantly trying out these psychological experiments to see how people would react. He was in charge of World War II propaganda. How are we going to get Christians in the West on board with killing Christians in the East? And they did it. They accomplished it.
We have the clip.
Nazi propaganda. These people are demonic. We have this clip again, guys. For those of you guys that are new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button. I'm going to show you this conversation that I say is so crucial and why I believe the media freaked out about Tucker Carlson's interview with Joe Rogan, because he's talking about something that should plant a seed in your mind. Take a listen.
There is a whole world that we can't see that acts on people, the supernatural world. It's acting on us all the time for good and bad. Every society has thought this before ours. In fact, every society in all recorded history has thought that until, I'll be specific, August 1945, when we dropped the atom bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And all of a sudden, the West is just officially secular. We're God. There is no God but us. And that's the world that we have grown up in. But that's an anomaly. Like, no one else has ever thought that. There's never been a society that thought that. Every other society has assumed, and they've had all kinds of different explanations, and the details differ. But the core idea does not differ, never has differed from caves until now, that we're being acted on by spiritual forces at all times.
You are being acted on by spiritual forces at all times. I'm going to say it again. You are being acted on by spiritual forces at all times. Okay, that is a reality. The people who understood this all the way leading up to World War II, since the dawn of humanity, they understood this. They knew God was real. They knew the devil was real. And then something happened after World War II. Yeah, I'll tell you what happened. Psychological tactics happened. Psychology happened. They began experimenting. They opened entire institutes and experimented on people. They experimented on troops. They began investing in understanding that they could create mass psychoses. They could quite literally lead people not to believe their own eyes. You just saw this. It's not a conspiracy, you guys. You just saw this with COVID, okay? Wake up. Wake up. If you are still asleep at the wheel and you're trying to hold on to some semblance, because it is hard. I get it. I had to go through it. I get it. When you realize that everything you were told was a lie, when you realize that you were just a severely propagandized individual from the moment that you stepped into the public school system, it is a hard reckoning to go through. You suffer through periods of cognitive dissonance. Use a psychological term. You start to wonder if you're going crazy. You're not crazy. This is the reality. We are fighting real evil, okay? Sigmund Freud believed in Satanism. That is a fact, okay? He worshipped the Kabbalah. That is a fact. Again, I can point you to these books. And now we have his nephew. We can draw a direct line from this despicable, filthy human being to American psychology today. Students are learning that he was a good guy. There's a cover-up about the fact that he was protecting pedophiles. Do you guys understand what's going on right now? Do you understand what is happening in this country? Spiritual forces, as in When you are listening to music, they understand it is impacting your soul. So if you don't believe you have a soul, it's problematic. Your eyes and your ears are the windows to your soul. They understand that. They don't want you going to church because they have you attending their church every day in the form of public education. Why do you think it is that people genuinely perceive that Donald Trump is a threat? They were believing the rhetoric. Why do you think Operation Mockingbird, real CIA declassified operation, okay, the CIA paid journalists in that program, there's not a single shred of evidence that it ever stopped. Following the assassination of JFK, the CIA said, okay, we need to start paying journalists to repeat our talking points. Now, why would they do that if they didn't kill JFK? Why would they be employing journalists? Why would our deep state begin employing journalists to repeat talking points? Why would they suddenly enter the term conspiracy theory into the lexicon? It never existed prior. Never called people conspiracy theorists before the 60s. Suddenly the media was saying it every single day. If you don't believe what we're selling you, you're a conspiracy theorist. They also understand that if you keep repeating something, it eventually becomes true to people. 6 feet social distancing. Why do you think they're all saying the same stuff? Wear masks, save lives. Donald Trump is a danger. Donald Trump is a danger. Donald Trump is a danger. They understand that that works, that people can be psychologically conditioned to believe anything if you just say it enough times. So yes, these coordinated nonstop attacks against Donald Trump from the moment that he came down the escalator, real, okay? That was a plan. They understood what they were doing. They were trying to enter in our psyche, and people believed it. Are they believing it less now? Yes, of course, because they had Donald Trump for 4 years. But prior to, in 2016, people were deluded. People ended their friendships. They had friends for years, decades. If you're supporting Trump, I can no longer be your friend because you're a racist. What do you mean, homie? I'm black, you're white. We've been friends for 20 years. I'm clearly not racist. They don't believe their own eyes and their own experiences. That is the power of psychology. That people...
Isn't it crazy how there is a group of people who have that kind of power, have the ability to get people to think whatever it is that they want them to think, for them to act however it is they want them to act? That's fucking crazy, dog. This shit is real too. I know damn well it's real. And people sit around and say that, you know, God ain't real. If God was real, why would all this evil be going on? If God wasn't real, how would there be evil? Because you can't have evil without good. You can't have good without evil. You can't have one without the other. It's the yin and the yang. They go hand in hand. If one disappears, the other disappears. Because if good disappears and good is right, then there's only evil. And evil is wrong. If there's only evil, then wrong becomes right because there's no good. If there's only good, then there's no evil because right is good. Good is right. And if there's no evil, then it just becomes good, it becomes what's right. So then it all just, it'll disappear. It's a natural balance. It's a naturally unnatural balance within the forces of spirituality and human nature. That's a fact.
Were ending friendships. They were ending familial relationships. You had brothers and sisters not talking, not speaking, because CNN kept telling them that Donald Trump was Hitler. He's literally Hitler. And why do they always use Hitler? Again, my recent episode that they're freaking out about, go back, watch it. Watch the episodes because they're important, you guys. They're very important for you to understand what and who we are fighting. They use that because even that has become a trigger. Years of your lives, they thought about this. They have psychologized. They want you to think that Adolf Hitler is the most evil man that has ever existed. In reality, that is just not true. No matter what metric you look at. I spoke to you on the show about the many genocides that have taken place that you don't even know about. People were shocked to learn about the genocide against the German-speaking civilians immediately following the war. People don't even know about the Bolsheviks. They don't know what the Bolsheviks did to Christians. We don't learn any of this, but it is a program for years. You learn and you are traumatized about Adolf Hitler in school, in public school. And there's a reason for that, because now it's become an adult trigger. All they have to do is call any person Hitler. All they have to do is say, this person is using Hitler's rhetoric, and people instantly attack. They instantly attack because it is a psychological trigger. And people did this in 2016. They believed that every person who was supporting Trump was a monster. They believed that about every single person who donned a MAGA hat, that they were literally Hitler. Your mockingbirds in the mainstream media on the day that Donald Trump won in 2016. Remember that? The tears. This is it. The country is over. What does this mean? Acting as though suddenly he was going to put into place concentration camps, as though you had legitimately, like we had legitimately witnessed Adolf Hitler on the rise. That was all intentional. They have been slow walking you into that emotional response for a very long time. And what is the reality? Who are the individuals who are supporting Donald J. Trump? What does that average American look like? In the same way that we were propagandized during World War II to believe that German-speaking civilians deserve to die, to believe that Catholics in Nagasaki deserve to have a bomb dropped on them while they were praying, to believe that on Ash Wednesday, Christians deserve to be incinerated in Dresden. Do you understand what psychological means were taken? Well, those exact same psychological means are happening right now. But now it's Americans against Americans. It's not Americans against the Nazis. It's not Americans against German civilians. It's Americans against Americans. They are creating that rift here, right? They're making people believe that they have to fight patriots. And what is the reality of the individuals that support Donald Trump? These are hardworking people, many of who have and would lay down their lives. You know, the families of people whose sons and daughters have lost their lives fighting for this country. And I want to show you this clip, by the way, of a man who was interviewed after, and who knows if that is that individual actually lived, or if this is the individual who died after the assassination attempt last night. But look at this. I want you guys to see this interview that this physician gave, soaked in blood, after having given it his all to rescue someone's life who was shot in the head. Take a listen.
That's exactly where I heard him come from.
What did you see, sir?
I heard the shots. I thought it was firecrackers to begin with. Somebody over there was screaming, he's been shot, he's been shot. So I made my way over. I said, I'm an emergency department physician. Let me help you. The guy had spun around, was jammed between the benches. He had a headshot here. There was lots of blood, and he had brain matter there.
Oh, no.
And so I got him. There's a helicopter coming in to get him. I got people there really helpful. I got
Was
him
there only
up
one
on the
person
bench.
shot that you saw?
Then I did CPR, did chest compressions, as well as I breathed for him.
One person.
I was the only one who did it.
We need to evacuate everybody.
Look at that man. Listen to that man. That is the face of the average American that is voting for Donald Trump. And yet we have half of this nation that have been psychologically abused into believing that he's a Nazi. That's just your regular old Nazi, right? Again, going back to that childhood trigger, when you even hear the term Nazi, when you even hear the name Adolf Hitler, so that you know that you instantly should fight it without even thinking. That's what they are trying to do. They have brought that psychological process back forward, and this time they are trying to divide Americans, hardworking Americans. You guys, I do want to also give up to another one of my sponsors. Speaking of hardworking Americans, Tax Network USA. Obviously, we know that as the state increases, one of the things that they've done is they just went ahead and decided that they needed a larger collection process. The collection tactics of the IRS has been expanded. Well, if you are one of the many Americans that are dealing with tax issues and you want to go to a company that reflects your beliefs, please call Tax Network USA. They can help you. They are the nation's premier tax relief firm with a history of negotiating over $1 billion in tax relief for clients. They offer a range of services, which include penalty forgiveness, hardship programs, where you might not have to repay anything until your tax debt expires. And they even offer in-compromise solutions for lump sum settlements, whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million. Their team of experts is prepared to assist you if you are behind on taxes due to missing personal or business records. They can also, Tax Network USA can guide you through the process of catching up. We know that tax season is over, which means that collection season has begun. So please, if you are struggling, contact Tax Network USA for personalized support with your tax issues, because handling IRS matters without professional help is extremely risky. You can protect your financial security by seeking guidance from Tax Network USA. Their experts will provide strategic advice on reduce. Call 1-800-SA.com, empower your TN. The sponsors that have stuck with the show, and grateful to all of you who have stuck with the show. I would not be here. I mean that. They have tried to cancel me so hard. I would not be able to do this if it were not for all of the independent people that have donated and supported the show. You guys who are watching, who are subscribing, sharing these clips. It means the absolute world to me, truly. All right, we got a couple of live updates that are coming in again before we cut to the president, who is now running just a casual 34 minutes late, guys. 34 minutes. Okay, cool. Joe Biden, due to give remarks, they said. Due to give remarks at 1:30 p.m. Eastern after having met in the Situation Room. Just again, stop pretending. Can we just stop pretending? I am so sick of all of the pretending. But a couple of more updates that we have going on. The former FBI assistant director, was talking about the security breakdown. It seems to me that that's going to be the sell to the public, that this was just a remarkable failure in security. Just like JFK, guys, that was just a failure in security that day when JFK got shot. And then all of the other details that are removed from the public memory, either because you weren't alive during it or because you were propagandized in school to believe that this was an accidental assassination. They're doing that right now already. A remarkable failure. Yeah, they're going to go with that. I'm going to, guys, also read to you Trump's statement on Truth Social immediately. It looks like he's actually updated, not immediately following the shooting. This has been the most recent Trump statement that he has given on Truth Social. He wrote this: "Thank you to everyone." Oh, never mind, guys. We are going to cut. Biden has made it 36 minutes late.
Good
I'm going to watch
afternoon.
this with you live. Let's do that.
Last night, I spoke with Donald Trump. I'm
I don't have a
sincerely
visual
grateful
here.
that he's doing well and recovering. And
You
we
can
had
mute
a
me.
short but good conversation. Jill and I are keeping him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victim who was killed. He was a father. He was protecting his family from the bullets that were being fired, and he lost his life. God love him. We're also praying for the full recovery of those who were injured. And we're grateful to the Secret Service agents and other law enforcement agencies and individuals who risked their lives literally for our nation. As I said last night, there is no place in America for this kind of violence or violence for that matter.
Oh man, I can't, bro. I can't. Every time he's talking, bro, I can't help but laugh, bro. This shit is. I know he's speaking on a serious subject, but every time I just see him talking, I can't do nothing but laugh, bro. Like, he's that much of a fucking joke.
An assassination attempt is contrary to everything we stand for as a nation, everything. It's not who we are as a nation. It's not America. And we cannot allow this to happen. Unity is the most elusive of all. Nothing is important than that right now. Unity. We'll debate and we'll disagree. That's not going to change. But we're going to not lose sight of the fact who we are as Americans. Look, Vice President Harris and I were just briefed in the Situation Room by my Homeland Security team, including the Director of the FBI, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Attorney General, the Director of the Secret Service, my Homeland Security Advisor, the National Security Advisor, and we're going to continue to be briefed. The FBI is leading this investigation, which is still in its early stages. We don't yet have any information about the motive of the shooter. We know who he is. I urge everyone, please, don't make assumptions about his motives or his affiliations. Let the FBI do their job and their partner agencies do their job. I'm instructed that this investigation be thorough and swift, and the investigators will have every resource they need to get this done. Look, as this investigation continues, Here's what we're going to do. First, Mr. Trump, as a former president and nominee of the Republican Party, already receives a heightened level of security. And I've been consistent in my direction to the Secret Service to provide him with every resource, capability, and protective measure necessary to ensure his continued safety. Second, I've directed the head of the Secret Service to review all security measures for the Republican National Convention, which is scheduled to start tomorrow. And third, I've directed an independent review of the national security at yesterday's rally to assess exactly what happened. And we'll share the results.
He said, we pose to trust this and that will do their job when the damn Secret Service couldn't even do their job. No, they did their job. They did what the hell they were supposed to do. They did what they were told to do, which was wait until they take the shot. That's what they was told to do. So they did their job. It just wasn't the job that it's not the job they're supposed to do, but they did their job.
Of that independent review with the American people as well. And finally, I'll be speaking more about this tonight at greater length from the Oval Office. We must unite as one nation. We must unite as one nation to demonstrate who we are. And so may God bless you all and may God protect our troops. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, when you spoke to President Trump yesterday, what did Sir.
This is just unbelievable.
Mr. President, shifting our campaign strategy, Mr. President. Mr. President, do you regret?
I am no words. Positively floored. That's it, guys. That's it. That's all you get. Your leader. Your leader of the United States. That's him right there. What did he dedicate? Was that 3 minutes? What did he add a minute from last night? Donald J. Trump survived an assassination attempt. And we have gotten maybe a total of 5.5 minutes from Joseph Biden regarding the matter. That's it. Because that's all he can actually do, right? They can't rely on him to answer questions. He's not here to calm Americans. In fact, they were just trying to figure out what is the most. They probably went over that script 300 times. I shouldn't say 300 times because he couldn't stay awake for that long. Multiple times, like, just can you get these sentences out? Kamal, can you just stand there and nod your head so we can keep performing, so that we can keep pretending that to the American people and to people all over the world that democracy is real, that they're actually living in a republic, that there's actually a leader, that there's not someone pulling his strings. No, the conspiracy theorists would think that his strings are being pulled. Everyone else should recognize that obviously this man is empowered and he totally has his wits about him. And he's just effectively communicated and he simultaneously qualmed all of our fears by giving us from start to finish, I mean, from last night's 2 minutes, 20 seconds to today's maybe 3 minutes, he's dedicated us 5.5 minutes. That's it. That's all he's got. That's all Joe Biden can give us. And what he wants to remind us, of course, in that speech is don't become a conspiracy theorist, guys. Let the FBI do their work. They will provide information. Yes, that FBI. You're going, the FBI, a blackmail operation against Martin Luther King Jr. and then he ended up conveniently shot for them when they were threatening him and telling him stuff. Yeah, that FBI. It's going to be great, guys. The FBI that's been locking down files pertaining to JFK's. Yeah, guys, that FBI. Let them do their work to figure out how they're going to get out of this pickle, right? Because I don't know about you, but when I hear the FBI's in the ground, I'm wondering, should we lock them up? Are they suspects? Which FBI members? I'm not saying that there aren't many hardworking people in the FBI who get into the FBI because they believe they're serving the American people. But what we do know is at the top, no, zero. No, at the top, they work for the deep state and the deep state is working against Trump. Oh, the FBI, are we still waiting for the update, by the way, of who dropped off the pipe bombs on January 5th? No, January 6th wasn't planned by the FBI, guys. They just really are struggling to find out who dropped off those pipe bombs on January 5th, the night before, in the most surveilled city in the entire world, just a couple of blocks away from the White House. Yeah. If you're not buying that story, it's because you're a conspiracy theorist. And let me tell you, if you are not a conspiracy theorist by now, it's because you are not intelligent.
Damn.
I am not kidding. If you are still holding on to some belief in your heart that you're hearing the truth from Joe Biden, that you are hearing the truth from our government agencies, if you are still holding on to a shred of belief that our entire government is not being blackmailed, they are. There's a few people who are not, Thomas Massie being one of them. There's an entire blackmail operation, okay? And it's been going on for a very long time in this country. Entire blackmail operation. And all of these people that you are seeing who you believe are your elected leaders are being controlled. If that sounds to you like a crazy conspiracy theory, let me tell you, you have not been paying attention. It's been going on for a very long time.
That is 100% facts. That shit's been going on for ages. People still don't get it, still don't understand, still don't realize that they're being lied to, that they're being tricked into believing this, that, and the third. They're being tricked into believing that the government is good, that they're on the good side, that they're there for our, that they have our best interests at heart, and blah, 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 blah. They protect us and they keep us safe and they make us pay taxes to be good, law-abiding Americans and whatever. It's all bullshit. There is no such thing as a good government anymore right now. There's not. And they know that when Donald Trump gets into office that he's going to clean house, and that's why they're trying so hard to keep him out of there, because they know that he is going to go ham. He is going to take the hammer and start whacking every single fucking mole. Every single mole. And he's going to get him up on out of there. And that is exactly why they don't want him in office, because they know he's going to expose what they got going on and why they're on the bullshit that they're on and what they're doing to everybody. And they know he's going to expose the wickedness in the government, the evil, corrupt fucking people, downright disgusting weirdos. You know, replace the W with a P. Downright disgusting, weirolific people that are within our quote unquote leadership positions. That's why they don't want him in office. They don't want him in office because they want this country to suffer. They want this country to burn from the inside out. And they know that if he gets in office, when he gets in office, that he won't let that happen. That he will make this country thrive. That's 100% facts. They need somebody they can control to make America the world's bitch. Trump ain't the one that they can control to make America the world's bitch. He's gonna make the world America's bitch, and that's what they're afraid of. That's why they're trying so hard, everything that they possibly can to keep him from getting in, and it's a damn shame. But this is what happens when you're up against the Matrix. You're going up against shit like this, and it's just like the T-Bros said, the older one, AT. You get 3 lives with the Matrix. 1, they cancel you. If that doesn't work, then they're going to try and throw you in jail. And if that doesn't work, then they're going to try to and destroy you, silence you. Trump is on his 3rd life right now. They tried to cancel him. Didn't work. They tried throwing him in jail. It didn't work. And now they're trying to kill him. It's absolutely fucking wild. This is what we live in. We live in a systemized society that is built to blindly follow the bullshit rules they lay down for us, while they don't follow none of the rules they lay down for us, but they have their own set of rules. It's crazy. But that's what we're in. So with that being said, man, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Make sure y'all share with your friends, your families, members, aunties, your grannies, and everybody else y'all know. We will finish this video the next time we get on here. So with that being said, let me get this outro pulled up and we're going to bounce.
Hey, with the fun tour, going out here and all this shit, all over fucking USA, and I'm done with all this shit. I'm cool off all this fucking talking shit. I got a whole team to represent. I don't want to do none of this. I never did want to do any of it. Fuck this nigga and fuck his team, bro. I'm out. I gotta go. Square up with yourself, motherfucker.